Welcome back to Football is Scripted. It's just me because Bradley is away. He is at a snooker tournament at the moment in Albania. Yeah, my reaction was the same as well. How random is that? I'll try and find a picture of him playing snooker just for proof. I think he's on the internet. I don't know. I'll try and find one. Today's episode, just me again, which means I have to ramble for a long time. 30 minutes. Gets quite tough, but we're here anyway. I just watched the funniest video I think I've ever seen. It was Playboi Carti and Adin Ross live stream. That shit was hilarious. 6 minutes. He paid him $2 million to stand there for 6 minutes, and all he said was thank you, basically. That was just too funny. Adin asked him how his day was, and Carti was just like, he just started laughing at him.
How was your day today? What'd you do?
I think that's my favourite video I've ever seen in my life. $2 million he paid him as well. Apparently he didn't. Paid him like not as much because of how bad he was as a guest. That was amazing. Anything I do will never top that 6 minutes I just seen of that video. And I'm happy with it. I don't care, because that was peak. That was peak internet right there. That was brilliant. Today the scripted moment was Ronaldo and Messi both being injured in the was it a friendly? It was a friendly, right? I'm pretty sure as well they were both confirmed injured like a few hours before the game. Imagine if you had paid a ticket just to go and watch it and they both end up injured. Not even just one of them, both of them. The reason it's a scripted moment is because they don't ever really get injured, those two. So for them to be injured on the same day felt scripted. This video is on things that happened over the weekend. We'll start with Liverpool versus Arsenal. I thought it was a good game. It wasn't like a classic, but a good game. I didn't expect Arsenal to win 3-1. In fact, I thought it would end in a draw. The thing people are talking about the most is Van Dijk and Alisson, the mistake. I don't really need to talk about that because everyone has. And look, it happens once a year between Van Dijk and Alisson, if that. So there's no point really dwelling on it. It happens. But what I really loved from this game especially was two of the goals. So two of the mistakes, Saliba and Van Dijk's mistake and Alisson's. They both came from the most tenacious players on the pitch. When you look at Liverpool, who's the player with the most tenacity, it's Luis Diaz. And he is the one who caused the Saliba. He's the one who basically got the goal because he fought Saliba for it, ending with a Liverpool goal. Same as Martinelli. He's, I think, the player with the most tenacity on Arsenal's team. And he is the reason there was a mistake. So, these tenacious players, their value is so much. And you can't really quantify it with stats. It's why I don't like stats that much. When you watch a video and they just blur out like shots per 90 or, I don't know, field tilt and shit. It's bullshit. But things like tenacity can't be measured in stats, and two of the goals came from it. And it's not a fluke because those two players often do that. They fight till the very end for a goal or an assist. And Luis Diaz, not many players do challenge Saliba like that, but he kept going at it. And most players, like Martinelli, probably wouldn't have even challenged Van Dijk. But Martinelli, so tenacious, and got a goal for Arsenal. So I like that 2 of the goals came from tenacity, which no one pointed out. They just pointed out the mistakes. It happens. I do think Arsenal do have a consistently poor catalogue of goals that they have conceded, I have to say. It doesn't happen all the time, but a lot of their goals are, or few of their goals, do come from very poor mistakes. But they are very good defensively, though. I'm not saying they're bad. I have to say as well, as someone who hates Arsenal, like with a passion, I thought they were excellent. They were the better team. And it's not just the first time they've done this versus a top-tier opponent. The other top opponent is Man City. Arsenal did exactly the same thing to Man City. The game was tight, but overall, Arsenal were the better team in that game, the same as this one. But when Arsenal scored, they actually played much deeper. And they did that versus Man City as well. They played a low block, or mid-block, whatever. And they put 10 men behind the ball, and they counter-attacked. And when Arsenal do that, they are very difficult to play against. I often think versus teams that aren't as good, sitting back is actually more difficult because those teams, they don't feel the pressure to score. And what they often do is maybe a cross, a long ball, whereas when you're playing top opposition, they tend to pass it a lot more, so they get less chances. So I think sitting back is a little bit easier against them. Not always, of course, but I think Arsenal have I think Arteta has schooled Klopp and Pep at the Emirates this year. I thought it was a phenomenal performance from Arsenal. Totally deserved the 3 points. They were very unlucky to go into half-time 1-1. Should have been 2-3-0 to Arsenal. And speaking of Martinelli, we just spoke about him, about his tenacity. He was brilliant through the whole game. He hasn't quite had that form, I think, all year this year. Maybe because they're playing teams with a lower block, so it's very difficult. And what I noticed with Saka is as soon as Saka gets the ball, there's 2 players on him straight away. There's one cutting the outside, and there's one marking the inside, which is a problem. One thing that is annoying, though, and it annoys me about modern football so much, it's the worst part, is the wingers. There's just no doubt the level of wingers has decreased in modern football, even from 10 years ago. Sorry, I had to be interrupted there. But yeah, there was just so many wingers. Maybe 5-7 years ago, probably peaked a little bit. With the Salahs. I know he's still here with the Manes, the Sanes, the Eden Hazards, the Cristiano Ronaldos, Messis, of course, Neymar, Bale. You had Robin, Ribéry. There's just so many top tier and exciting wingers, I think is the word. So many exciting players. Whereas now, what I've noticed about players who dribble, and Saka does this a lot, is he slows it down so much. And what he allows the opponent to do is come very close to the ball. And it's very difficult to beat a man when he's very close to you. And I think it's why Saka does struggle a little bit. I'm not sure if he's the best, one-on-one in a tight area. I'm not sure. Because he does allow an opponent to get really close to the ball. And it's very difficult to beat a man from there. I think Michael Olise is one of the best examples. I speak about Michael Olise every single week on this pod. He's so good at distance between him and the fullback to beat him. He's not even that quick, Michael Olise, but he's just so intelligent in terms of his gap to his opponent that he often does beat his man. But that's what you do when you're at a top team now, I guess. You control it, you pass it back. I watched Man City last night. And yeah, quick word on Foden, of course, hat-trick. Good hat-trick. Decent hat-trick. It was okay. The last goal was good. But the other 2 were decent. The header was good. The first goal was Okay. Anyway, I was watching Man City last night, and there were so many chances where they could have attacked or counter-attacked, and they just slow it down, and it's so boring. I get it. It wins you games, I guess. But fuck me, it's boring. I'd like to see Man City counter-attack one day. It would be nice, instead of just slowing everything down. But they've won like 6 out of 7 league titles. But I think they have the best players, so they would do that. It's a bit annoying. I think modern football is definitely not as entertaining as it once was. I think you're seeing it, like I said, in the wingers mostly. But yeah, it's disappointing. When you look at Jack Grealish, what he can do with a football, the entertainment he can bring, and at Man City, he's just forced to get the ball and pass it to his fullback. It's very bad to watch. I don't like watching Man City that much. I like watching Kevin De Bruyne. And this is the thing, right? Is when you look at the best players in the world, they don't just pass it 5 yards. They don't cut back and pass it. They make things happen still. It's not like football in the modern game has to be played where you can't freely play attacking football. And you have to have 99% possession. So everyone just passes sideways. The best players are still the ones that create the chances and pass forward every single time. Kevin De Bruyne does not pass backwards, ever. Last night he did not pass backwards once, I don't think. Everything was a cross ball to the fullback, in between the lines. A great pass, a through ball. Every single time he gets the ball, something happens, and those are still the best players in the world. I think players now have a little bit of a complex when it comes to passing like 2 yards. It's annoying. It's boring. It's why I like Liverpool. And I've never liked Liverpool. But the way they play, the attacking freedom that they have, obsessing over 99% possession. It's why I like Liverpool. And also, it goes two ways. When I look at Spurs, our defending, and we're so attacking, and our defending is so shit. You need that balance, of course, but at the same time, we tippy-tappy it around the box so much. We pass it around the box so much. It gets so boring at times, and we still defend really shit. So yeah. Anyway, going on a bit of a tangent there about Spurs. I don't want to talk about Spurs. Still annoyed at that Everton result the other day. But yeah, let's move off from Liverpool-Arsenal. I have a few things written down here. Wolves versus Chelsea. Very interesting because, first of all, where are Wolves in the Premier League? Let me have a look. PL. Wonder where they are. I'm going to guess like 9th? The 10th. Gary O'Neill, what a job he's done there. And they have a really good team, Wolves. Pedro Neto, when he's fit, I would love Tottenham to sign him. He is such a good player. I still think he has like the 4th most assists, or 2nd, 3rd in the league. He's a ridiculous player. Cunha has been on one lately. I think he's reached 10 goals in the Prem. I have him in my FPL. He's been so reliable. One of the only things that has kept me afloat, really, this season. Wang Hee-chan, of course, isn't there, but he's a brilliant player. And that game versus Chelsea, I don't know what happened. Well, I do know what happened. Chelsea are shit. Chelsea are really shit. And a lot of them are questioning Pochettino, which I completely understand. It's one of those ones where I'm very... What would be the word? I'm very pragmatic in sacking managers. I don't like to see them go early. I like to see them finish a project and be given a very good chance. But with Pochettino, first of all, fuck him. because he's a traitor. How can you manage Tottenham and then manage Chelsea? And it's not even just he was an average Tottenham manager. He was literally like one of the best we have ever had. And then he's managing Chelsea a few years later. Think of the things Chelsea did to us under his reign at Spurs, right? First of all, the Battle of the Bridge. How can you even manage Chelsea after that? I don't know. Because that was a war. That's one of the best games in Premier League history. It's one of the nastiest, arguably is the nastiest, in 30 years of history. And that's who he's managing now. Not just that, that game lost us the league. We lost the Premier League because of it. The next year, we were phenomenal. We went unbeaten at home. We smashed basically nearly every team 4-0. We finished on 86 points, our most ever in the Premier League. In most years, it wins the title. Nope, Chelsea beat us to it. Chelsea ruined our... Well, they ruined our chances of a trophy. Of trophies at Tottenham, basically. They were very annoying every time we played them in the Pochettino era. They beat us in the semi-final of the FA Cup as well. And we would have been playing Arsenal in the final. I'm not saying we would have won, but we were definitely better than Arsenal at the time. And he's managing Chelsea. How? I don't even know how that works. How his brain can even digest the fact that he manages Chelsea and thinks it's okay. So I don't care if he gets sacked. I honestly don't care. In fact, I hope he does. But it's one of those, I like a project. I always think a manager should have time. But the things he says in press conferences, the tactics, everything, to be honest, is subpar. It is. He's acting like Chelsea. He contradicts himself in the media. You know, he says that they're a mid-table club, and then at some point says that Chelsea should be fighting for the biggest trophies. That team is better than what is playing at the moment. The only thing is, if they get rid of him, do I think they're going to bring in someone who does better? No, I don't. Maybe for a short period of time, like a month, and then I think it'll go back to how it is now. But it's not good enough from Pochettino. The tactics ain't. The media part it isn't. He's not winning over the fans. It's not looking good for him, to be honest. I think he will probably be sacked this year at some point. I think if he loses the next 2 games, who have they got next? Let's have a look. Fixtures. They have Palace away. Honestly, unexcusable if they lose that game, because Palace is so bad. And then they have Man City away. Ooh, shit in hell, Poch. It could be over, buddy. Could be over. They do have actually really tough games. They have Newcastle after that. Then they have Arsenal away. And then they have Burnley. So the next 4 games, they have to beat Palace. He has to beat Palace to stay in his job, essentially. Because he is on the verge of being sacked. The Chelsea fans are not happy with him. I guess the only positive would be Cole Palmer. Now, do I think Cole Palmer would be doing it anyway? Yeah, I do. The guy is class. 10 goals in a really bad Chelsea team. He's not even a striker. He's more of like a floater. He is, he's one of my favourite players in the league, and he plays for Chelsea. You know, that's how good he is. Ridiculous player. 10 goals. Yeah, I can't ask for more from Cole Palmer, but I don't even think that's Pochettino's doing. I just think that's Cole Palmer being a very good player. Speaking of very good players, young good players, Rasmus Højlund and Alejandro Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo. Now, Kobbie Mainoo, the hype for him over the last week has skyrocketed to a little bit of a weird sort of level. People are acting like he's Jude Bellingham, which is odd. He scored a goal versus Wolves. He's playing really well. Let's just chill out for a second. He's getting standing ovations from the United fans. Although I guess when you consider the environment that Man United has been for the past 10 years. They don't really get a player like this often. So it's fair enough. But it has been funny, the hype in the last week, because he scored. I mean, he's been at that level for a few months, actually. You know, when we played them, the 2-2 draw a few weeks ago, I thought he was fantastic. Really stood out to me on Man United's team. He didn't score. You don't always need to score for it to be a good performance. But it was a ridiculous goal that he scored, by the way. And against who did they play? I've got it here somewhere. West Ham. Sorry. Yeah, he was good again. But the two players were Garnacho and Højlund, because Højlund scored 2 goals. Was it? The one was excellent. And Alejandro Garnacho on that right wing is a problem. He is a problem. On the left, I don't like it. I don't think he's anywhere near as good on the left-hand side. But on that right-hand side, he's so creative and just uses his pace. Udogie pocketed him a few weeks ago, to be honest. But overall, he's done fantastic. And in this game, he was a joy to watch. He scored a crap goal, his first one. But the second one, why can I not remember his goal? I can't remember his goal. I'm not going to look it up. But I'm pretty sure he was decent. I got an assist as well. But Højlund, Garnacho, Manu, Lisandro Martinez. Look, I'm telling you, in 3 years, Man United will be good. They will be good. Those two up front can be superstars. Manu can as well. With signings, additions, and Lisandro Martinez, I know he's just tore his, is it ACL, maybe? But when he's fit, when he comes back, he is a problem. He is so good. Man United is so much better with him. And also, by the way, Harry Maguire was very good against West Ham as well. I thought very impressive. I actually think West Ham, they were actually going to sign him, weren't they, in the summer. That would have been such a good signing for the way they play. I don't rate Maguire in a attacking system, but I think for West Ham he could have been really good, and I thought he was good the other day versus West Ham. But Man United, I do think, will be a problem in the future. I really do. I'm convinced of it. I am convinced. And the new owners look serious as well. So cherish how shit Man United are now. You know, let's be present with it. Let's enjoy the moment. Man United are bad, because I can't see it lasting much longer. With the young players coming through, with the staff additions, with, I think, the signings they'll make, it's not ideal. I want them to stay shit forever. I would love it, but I can't see it happening. Moving on, just quickly now on to the rivalry of the weekend. Brighton vs Palace. I've spoken about Palace quite a lot on this pod, mainly because the other person who was supposed to be on this podcast, if he fucking turned up, is a Palace fan. And he winds me up because he says things like Odsonne Edouard is on for 20 goals this season, when that's just never going to happen, is it? So I like reveling in how shit Palace are playing. In fact, I love it, you know, and he loves it when Spurs are shit. It's a weird dynamic we have going on there. But Palace, yeah, they were shit. Disgraceful, really. There was nothing. You know, when I saw that lineup, it was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing, honestly. I need to look at it again, because I need to find it. I'm just going to list it off. The 11. Right. So we have a 4-3-3 of, well, that's what it has on here. Dean Henderson, who has conceded 10 in 3 games, by the way. Yeah, it's not looking great. Daniel Munoz, who they just signed. I think it was actually a back 5, wasn't it? Or was it a 4-3-3? I feel like it was a back 5, and he played right wing back. Joachim Andersen, Mark Gay, Tyreek Mitchell. Now that is your bog standard Palace back four. Now, Mark Gay is now actually injured for the rest of the season, I think. But, yeah, that's not bad, right? It's fine. In fact, it's actually good. It's a good back four. A really good back four. This is where things get funny. Very funny. Chris Richards, Jefferson Lerma, Will Hughes in the middle of the park. There just isn't an ounce of creativity in there at all. And then up front you have Jordan Ayew, who has about 7 goals in like 120 games. Philip Mateta, who actually scored an unbelievable header, by the way, in this game. But I think most people know he's not good enough. I think he's better than Eduard, but I don't rate him very highly. And Jeffrey Schlupp, who is definitely, without a doubt, Palace's least favourite player. I see him getting hammered all the time, which is for good reason, because, yeah, he's not good. I actually think about 2 years ago he had a good season at Palace. But, yeah, nowadays it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. That is the most uncreative team I have ever seen in my life, I think, genuinely. Like, I genuinely think that. There's not an ounce of creativity. There is nothing in this that suggests there will be a goal. Eze is still injured. Elise is now out for 2 months. They really could go down. And it's a huge worry for Palace. Not many points off the drop. Luton are looking good. They actually play Luton, I think, soon, a few weeks, and that will be a very big game, because I actually do think now, with Eze and Elise's injury worries, it's quite frequent they're getting injured now. I actually think Palace are the 17th team. So it's either them or Luton that will go down. That's how bad they're playing. In fact, in the last, I think, 15 games, I saw someone say on TikTok, I think his name is Ollie. He's a Palace fan. I think Palace have picked up 3 more points in their last 15 games than Burnley and Sheffield United. That is so poor. That is so poor. They have to sack Roy Hodgson. He has to sack Roy Hodgson. Now, get someone in, get a bounce, because you need it desperately. Got Chelsea on the weekend. That is, you're not winning that. I can't see it. I really can't. If you win that, I'll be fucking amazed if Palace beat Chelsea, even though Chelsea are very bad. And then you've got Everton away, which is a big game. Which is a big, big game. And you ain't going to win it like this. It's not happening. So, Eze and Elise, when Elise comes back, Eze, especially, he's fit now, he's going to have to carry big time. And just a quick word on Luton. Just a quick word. How good are Luton? Why are Luton so good? I don't get it. They were supposed to be 20th. Everyone had them 20th. Why is Ross Barkley world class? I don't get it. I don't understand. He has been a joy. It's like watching Paul Scholes play for Luton. I don't get it. On the ball, I haven't seen him lose the ball once, Ross Barkley. He's creating. He's now even scoring. He genuinely has a case to be in the England team. And if you were to put that on someone's predictions, if someone predicted that at the start of the season, give them the lottery numbers. Just give them it. I can't believe how good Luton have been. I can't believe how good Barkley has been. Even Townsend has been good. I think he's been injured lately, hasn't he? But yeah, even when he's played, I can't believe how even Adebayo is scoring fucking hat tricks now. Clinton, is it Clinton or Carlton? What's his name? Is it Clinton Morris? I think it's Clinton. Even he's just unbelievable. Now he's scoring goals, and he's not very good at all, by the way. They're spirited, they fight, they don't give up, unlike Sheffield United and Burnley. Maybe not Burnley, but Sheffield United, definitely. They're amazing. Luton are unbelievable. I'm loving it. I hope they stay up, and I hope Palace go down, because watching Bradley react to the Championship every week would make my life, to be honest. And it would be hilarious. So that's what I hope happens. How long have I been recording? 30 minutes. I will have to cut some of it out, because there were times I literally just, my brain froze, and I literally just stopped talking and stared at the wall for 10 seconds. So, yeah, that will be that. If you did enjoy it, give it a like. Subscribe if you are new as well. Please, go on. And thank you for watching.